Hey, welcome to my channel. My name's Ken, and I'm on a journey to lose as much weight as I possibly can so I can become a fat guy no more. This month I was on 5.0 milligram, and my first week started on September 30th of this year. I took the shot on a Friday, early afternoon. By that evening, that brick in my stomach that I was feeling, that strong tightness that lets me know it's working, that appetite suppression, if you will, it was there, and it was super strong. I had a real hard time eating anything those first couple days. Protein shakes were my saving grace. And that's about how I got through that weekend, honestly. That Monday, October 3rd, I went and saw my primary care doctor, the one who prescribed Mounjaro for me. And she was beyond thrilled at my progress so far. She said to me, and again, I mentioned in the last video, I don't know the science behind Mounjaro. And every time she's tried to explain it, it just goes way over my head. What she told me, and this is her exact quote, is that this proves I've needed a GLP-1. Okay, again, I don't know what that means, but I do know that that it's working for me, and that it's great. One of the things that I discussed with my primary care physician is that I was struggling to hit the 1,800 to 2,000 calories that she wanted me to get to. So she told me, based on my medical history, there would be no reason why I couldn't drop down as far as 800 calories a day, but try to be at least 1,000 if I could, and not to be worried if I happen to go over that a little bit. So in my mind, I decided to start targeting 1,000 to 1,200 calories per day, and we'll see how it goes. As I left her office, I hit the road south, going down to Arlington, Texas. It's a little over 3.5 hour drive from here down to there, to go and see 4 Texas Rangers versus New York Yankees games. Aaron Judge was sitting at 61. He was 1 away from setting the all-time American League home run record. And since I live this close and am an uber baseball geek, I wanted to be there and see that in person if he happened to do it. So I got the blessing from the wife, and I headed south, knowing that I would be on the road for 3 nights, knowing what happened the last time I was in the Dallas area. The end of August, I decided this time I was going to be prepared. So I took with me a case of protein shakes, as well as I air fried some tofu, and I brought it with me and my own salad dressing so I could try to be ready. I did a little research and found out that there was a Jason's Deli right next to my hotel. So I ordered on the app what I wanted, and I picked it up and went to the hotel, and I was set for the weekend. That salad was so big that between the protein shakes and the tofu and I was able to have just those 3 nights. That's it. I didn't have anything at the ballpark to eat. I did have 1 Dr. Pepper, but I drank water the rest of the time, and I was fine. If you've ever been to Globe Life Field in Arlington, you'll know that right outside the north entrance is a place called Texas Live. I heard somebody refer to it once as a strip mall of bars. That's pretty much what it is. It's bars and restaurants, and a ton of them right there, right close to the ballpark. And I didn't go. I was planning on it, but I wasn't hungry. There was really no reason for me to go over there if I wasn't going to eat something or have a beer, and I had no desire to. So I didn't. I stuck with my plan, and in between the doubleheader that Tuesday, I actually sat right outside the stadium drinking my protein shakes. It was great. I felt like I was doing something that I should be doing, but on the same respect, I didn't feel like I was missing out at all. I was out having fun, watching baseball games, and yet I wasn't going overboard and having stuff that I really shouldn't be having, and that made me feel good, honestly. When I got back from that trip, I started looking through some of my old clothes to see if anything would fit, and I was quite excited to see that a t-shirt from my old brewery, Manfish Brewing, actually fit me again. It had been a few years since I was able to wear it, and in that photo there, those shorts, I haven't worn those shorts in probably 6 years. So they fit too, and that just, I don't want to say there's no brighter feeling, but it's such an amazing feeling when you can go to your closet and find clothes that you used to be able to wear and then you couldn't for a long time, and now you can again. If you've ever experienced it, you know exactly what I'm saying. And I don't know how to articulate that, but it was spectacular. So my averages for that week were 1,057 calories, 115 grams of protein, 23 grams of fiber, and 1,062 milligrams of sodium. So after all that, I got on the scale that Friday morning and it told me that I had lost 10 pounds. 10 pounds. That gave me a total of 46 pounds lost with Mounjaro and a grand total for the year of 81 pounds. So week 6, I took my shot as I had been on a Friday, late afternoon. And typically on Saturday morning, if I'm going to feel any of the negative side effects, that's when I do. So the nausea, the headaches, whatever. But this week, nothing. I thought, wow. I mean, because I took the shot in the stomach area again, completely avoiding the thigh, because, yeah, no. And I didn't feel it. I actually felt great that next day. The difference between that week and the week when I took the shot in the thigh is that I could feel the appetite suppression there, and I knew that it was working, unlike in week 2 when I did it in the thigh. It was totally different, but no nausea at all, no headaches, no nothing. So I thought, well, maybe my body's getting adjusted to this, and no. Woke up Sunday morning sicker than a dog. It was like it was delayed for some reason, and I don't know why, but by mid-morning Sunday, I felt like I was hit by a Mack truck. I mean, just completely run over, backed up, and run over me again. It was bad. So most of that day I spent in bed or just sitting in my recliner, not really doing anything. I really just didn't have the strength to do anything, and it kind of confused me why it took a day, and I still don't know why it did. But that's what happened that week, and the rest of the week I was fine. It was pretty much a normal week, and I was actually able to eat a little more than the previous week. So my totals for that week were 1,358 calories on average per day, 81 grams of protein, 15 grams of fiber, 854 milligrams of sodium. What that did for me on the scale is it dropped me 2 pounds. That puts me at having lost 48 pounds with Mounjaro in 6 weeks and a grand total of 83 pounds overall. So that brings me to week 7. Week 7, I actually took my shot a day early. That Saturday was my 50th birthday, and I knew that I would have friends coming in from out of town on Sunday, and inevitably we were going to go out, and I wanted to make sure that I felt okay, because in the previous week it took 2 days for it to kick in. I wasn't going to take a chance. So I took the shot Thursday night on the 13th, and I felt all right. Matter of fact, that next day I felt so good. I got up and decided to continue one of my long-standing traditions, which is to get my first eggnog latte of the season on my birthday. So I started calling around places because I didn't know down here if they would have it that early. Just for giggles, I called the place that I would normally go to in Issaquah, Washington, back home. And of course, they had eggnog already. I finally found a place, and they were actually closed when I called, but they hadn't left yet, and they told me if I hurried up, they would make me one. So I did. I chunked in some clothes, and I took off down the street, and I got me my first eggnog latte. Didn't really do a whole lot on my birthday, and I knew that was going to be the case. I wanted tacos, so we did make tacos instead of going out to eat. We made them at home, and we watched the Mariner game, which ended up being, what was it, an 18-inning heartbreaker. Only the third time that they've ever played on my birthday, so in middle of October. They've only won one game on my birthday, and I happened to be there back in 2001. But that Sunday, when friends came in from out of town, I found myself falling into some old habits again while they were here. And that is, we went out to watch the Seahawk game at a local bar, and I told myself I was only going to allow myself 2 beers, and I stopped counting around 14. An interesting thing that I found, though, is that on Mounjaro, I didn't get buzzed that much. I mean, honestly, I fully expected, because how Mounjaro works to delay the emptying of your stomach, that I felt that somehow, some reason, I thought I would only be able to have a couple. It would fill me up, and then the alcohol would be too much. I don't know how many we ended up having, because like I said, I stopped counting at 14, but it was quite a few, and the next morning I woke up feeling great. So it didn't affect me like I was expecting it to, except on the scale, where I was up 12 pounds. 12 pounds. That was frustrating. But I knew what I did and why it happened, and I know exactly how to avoid that. So even with all of the alcohol that I had that week, which I counted it all, my averages for that week were 1,173 calories, 112 milligrams of protein, 19 grams of fiber, and 1,027 milligrams of sodium. I officially ended that week up 9 pounds over the previous week. So I went down some from where I was, but I was still up. I blew it. I know what I did wrong. I wasn't really worried about it. So week 8, I spent most of my time running to the bathroom. I had all that fluid in me from the previous week still, and it took some time to get rid of it. Nothing really remarkable happened that week, other than the fact that I stayed on program, and that alone should be a victory. And I say that because in the past, anytime I've dieted on my own, after having a week like I did that previous week, where I had things that it's not that I shouldn't have had those beers, I shouldn't have had as many. Of course, that led to eating some stuff that maybe I shouldn't have had, but there's really nothing off limits in a program like this. I just know the way things are going to affect me, and I try to avoid them. So in the past, that would have just been it. I'd have been done. I'd have been going to Jimmy John's and Taco Bell and just figuring I'll start over sometime. But this time, it didn't happen. When I took that next shot, it gave me renewed strength to stick doing what I was doing. And so I had a great week. So that week, I averaged 1,122 calories, 104 grams of protein, 21 grams of fiber, and 1,109 milligrams of sodium. The scale also showed in my favor that week, and I was down 12 pounds, which puts me the 9 that I went up, plus another 3, which gave me a grand total of 51 pounds lost on Mounjaro and 86 overall for the year. That completed my second month. I was staring down the barrel of my first 7.5 milligram shot, and I was a little anxious to see what would happen moving up again, especially up that high. But that's another video. So again, I appreciate you watching these if you are. I'm just trying to document it for myself mostly, but hopefully it'll give other people a little heads up of what's going on. I know there's a lot of quick recap in these because it is a recap going back to several weeks ago now, and I just want to get it documented for, so I have it, so I can look back later and see exactly what actually happened while it was fresh in my mind to actually talk about it. Eventually, once I get caught up, I will do weeklies, but for now, it's all about the rewinds. So I will see you in the next one. thanks for watching. If you'd like to follow me on my journey to become a fat guy no more, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that bell so you can get notifications every time I upload a new video.